Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Richard and I am the Bull Rider. And today I want to show you one cheap and simple and easy trick that you can use on your Lamborghini Gallardo to effectively straight pipe the exhaust. And there is going to be one caveat to this. So if you have an 04 to 05 Lamborghini Gallardo, the modification I'm going to show you won't effectively really do much at all. But if you have an 06, 07, or 08 Lamborghini Gallardo, you're effectively going to have a straight pipe exhaust. And if you have an LP Lamborghini Gallardo from 2009, 2014, it won't effectively be a straight pipe modification, but it'll be pretty dang close. So stick around to the end of this video and I'll show you exactly what you need to modify on your LP Lamborghini Gallardo because it's a little bit different than the pre-LP Lamborghini Gallardo. So every Lamborghini Gallardo has an active exhaust system that is actuated with vacuum pressure. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be modifying the vacuum actuation mechanism system. And this is very simple because all you have is a line coming from the engine that produces vacuum, and there is a solenoid valve, think a light switch. So instead of turning on the lights in your house, you're effectively turning on and off vacuum pressure. And what that vacuum pressure does is it opens and closes the exhaust valves. And without vacuum pressure, the exhaust valves are normally open. So this is what we're effectively doing when we bypass this solenoid valve for the active exhaust system. The exhaust remains normally open and we have the most noise possible. Right, so this panel is held on with 8 T15 Torx. So I went ahead and removed those, and then we can pull this shroud off. And then you can see behind here, there's the partitions where the screws go. So underneath here, right underneath the Lamborghini badge, there is a solenoid valve with a connector running to it, and then there is a vacuum line running down to the active exhaust, and then there is another line that runs to the engine that you can't see that my finger is on. And there are two ways to modify this. One way is to disconnect this connector, but almost immediately you'll notice that you'll get a check engine code, a 15610, and I can't recommend that you modify your exhaust by doing it in this method. And so what I'm going to recommend if you want to do this modification is to disconnect this vacuum hose. And you know, every 75 to 100 miles, you still might get a check engine code, but it's going to be a lot less prevalent than if you disconnected this connector and you got an engine code continuously that you weren't able to clear. So let's go ahead and disconnect this vacuum line first. So I got a pair of needle nose pliers, and I'm going to go ahead and put tension onto that little spring clip and then pull it down just like that. And then I'm going to grab onto the hose gently and try to rotate it just to break it free from that little connector. And then we can go ahead and pull it down. There we go, just like that. Okay, so we got that disconnected, and you can see there's a little port on that solenoid valve. So what we're gonna do is we're going to cap it off with a little tiny vacuum plug. And you can see it's capped off on one end. I'll leave a link in the description below for this. This is very simple, cheap, and easy. And what we're gonna do is just gonna put it over the top of that. There we go. And you can see how now I have a cap over the top of that solenoid valve. So to prevent anything from getting into this hose, I'm gonna use a vacuum junction. I'll leave a link in the description below. And then another vacuum cap. And then what I'm gonna do is just gonna install the junction onto the hose. Simple enough. And then I'm going to install the cap onto that. And then I'm gonna throw a zip tie around here just to make sure nothing gets into this hose. I just don't wanna ruin my exhaust valves. And then we can go ahead and tuck it somewhere behind the solenoid valve, and then we can go ahead and put the mesh back on right underneath the Lamborghini badge. So putting in the mesh is pretty easy, and once you get it in, just put in the fasteners again, and you are ready to go. And with that, for your pre-LP Lamborghini Gallardo, the modification is done. And if you have a LP Lamborghini Gallardo from 2009 to 2014, the solenoid valve is in a little bit of a different location. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go into your engine bay and you're going to remove the shrouding that is surrounding the stock airbox. And if you're looking at the rear of the car, you're going to find the solenoid valve underneath that shrouding right behind the stock airbox. Effectively, you're going to do the same exact thing. You're going to disconnect the line that leads to the exhaust valves and then cap it off and then call it good. And then you can go ahead and install the shrouding back onto your car again. You might not notice as much of an increase in exhaust noise as you would with the 2006, 2007, and 2008 Lamborghini Gallardos, but you will definitely notice an increase in noise. What effectively is happening with your LP Lamborghini Gallardo is that the exhaust still goes through the muffler, but it just takes a little bit of a different flow path, with a little bit less restriction. And with less restriction, you have more noise. And you will still likely get a check engine code with this modification, but it will be very aperiodic, meaning that every 75 to 100 miles, you're still gonna get a check engine code. I have a video in the card above where I show you how to clear check engine codes and scan check engine codes with a generic OBD2 scanner. So if you need that video, please check it out in the card above. It'll be very helpful. So when you do get codes, you can clear them very easily. And with that, I want to thank you for watching this video. And if you like this video, please consider giving it a like. And until next time, thanks.